We're in the gym here where the United States Air Force flash teams train. I'll give you a 360. Okay, there are some officers here and some enlisted because they all train together. Now, a lot of people are asking what makes the flash teams tougher than the SEALs. Well, experience. I mean, our mighty U.S. Navy SEALs, they go into third world countries that, have no defense at all. They penetrate 50 miles by helicopter. There's no radar defense. And they kill, they kidnap, they destroy. They do a lot of things like that. But there's no defense. They've never gone up against the Russians, let's say the Israelis, the French, the Spanish, the Chinese. These are tough cookies, okay? I'll give you more views of the gym where everyone trains on the flash teams. But U.S. Air Force flash teams, they have gone up against the Russians and the Chinese. You don't know about it. It's not in the newspapers. But generally speaking, wherever the border is now between Ukraine and Russia, flash teams have been sent in to gather intelligence information, and they've dealt with Russian commandos. They've had experience penetrating to get information for intelligence. Navy SEALs have never done that. They come back from, bumfuck third world countries that have no defenses. They accomplish their mission. The Boy Scouts could accomplish that mission in that country, and we treat them like heroes, but we don't know if they could go up against the really tough guys, the big boys. Okay, but U.S. Air Force, they've done it. Sometimes the U.S. Air Force flash teams are not on mission for Air Force, like Navy SEALs are not on mission for Navy. They're just working for the U.S. government. They go in by halo, which means high altitude, low opening parachutes. Scuba diving, they come out of submarine torpedo tubes. Whatever's necessary for the U.S. government to accomplish its mission, the flash team does it, just like the SEALs. It might seem weird to you that Navy SEALs are 100 miles in a desert somewhere doing something. There's no water over there. What is the Navy doing over there? Okay, well, it might seem weird to you that the Air Force is in a submarine. But if the submarine has to carry them and they're chosen to accomplish the mission instead of SEALs, instead of Green Berets, instead of MARSAC, they do it. MARSAC usually is trained like the SEALs, but they only do their dirty work during war, in a war zone. Same with Green Berets. SEALs and flash teams are more separated from their military units. They do stuff for the CIA and the U.S. government. Okay, but again, the reason why you might know that the Air Force guys are tougher than the Navy guys is because they have real experience against the big boys. They've gone up against Chinese. They've killed Chinese. They've gone into Russia. They've killed Russians recently with the war in Ukraine. They've even been sent to Israel by Biden to gather information about, stuff I can't really talk too much about. SEALs were not chosen for that. That was Air Force because they're more appropriate with the Israelis because they're high tech. Okay, but generally speaking, that is why it might seem weird to you that Navy guys are in a desert nowhere near the water. Air Force guys are in a submarine coming out of torpedo tubes. Yeah, generally Navy SEALs will work for the Navy and accomplish missions for the Navy during war or peace. Air Force flash will accomplish missions for Air Force. But from time to time, the U.S. government needs a group of tough guys to go in and fight some tough guys. And that's when they'll call either the SEALs or the flash teams from the Air Force. Generally speaking, of the two, my opinion is that the Air Force is a little bit tougher because they've had the experience. As to why the Air Force was chosen to go in to gather intelligence in Russia on the Ukraine border with Russia, I don't know. But the U.S. government made that decision, probably because the Air Force has its own satellites. Navy does not. And that's a quick way of maintaining communication. So if you're interested in becoming a Navy SEAL, go ahead and do it. But if you want to join a unit that really goes up against the tough guys, the French, the Spanish, the Israelis, the Chinese, the Russians, go with the Air Force flash teams. Talk to a recruiter. Here's the gym where they're training. Okay, I can't tell you who these people are, but this is the gym on the Air Force base where the flash teams train.